Greetings to my 1,227 subscribers, and of course you the future subscriber. Please do me a favor after watching the video and you enjoy the content. Please like and subscribe, share if you want to, and it helps the channel to keep on going. So tonight's whiskey, we are looking at a independent bottled whiskey. Color wise, it is a sample. Unfortunately, my budget does not allow me to buy 200 euro bottles of whiskey. Just to do a quick review on them, I haven't opened it up yet. My nosing and tasting will be a big surprise, as it might be for you as well. So a little bit on this whiskey. It is from the independent bottler Asta Morris. It is a Belgium company. This is bottled in 2019. It comes from the Speyside region, Glen Moray. Non-chill filtered, natural color. It's a 1996 vintage. Cask number AM138. Number of bottles that was produced 189, and it is matured in ex-bourbon cask, 23 years old, and of course bottled at 49.7% ABV. So I don't know what was the level of the bottle. I know this online store where I buy the samples from, they might have a tasting of whiskies. People can buy samples every now and again. They have a nice old whiskey that comes out. I see they also advertise free tastings. So if you are ever in Belgium and you want to go visit the shop, just Google it. I will give you a little bit of a hint. This is not an advert from them. I had to buy my own samples. This one was not cheap. I paid €13.50 for the sample, but considering the price of €200, I think for a tasting, for me, that is just perfect. Now I'm going to pour it. I'm going to give it just 5-10 minutes after the pour, and I will stop the video and restart again, just to give it a little bit of time just to settle down in the glass. So I'm back. Time was flying by. I did give it a little bit more time. I had some things to do, so about 20 minutes in the glass. I did keep it covered a little bit, just to settle down, giving it a chance to climatize. So it is natural color. It is non-chill filtered. 23 years in a cask. And it is a light straw color. Now that can only mean it was a very old cask, third fill, maybe fourth fill, I don't know. I did try to get some more information from the website, could not get any additional information. It is bottled for the Belgian market. So if you need to find a bottle like this, I think you need to look at the Belgium website, or this one that I showed you. I'm sure they might have a couple of bottles if you are interested in. So definitely very light. There is a little bit of a oiliness in it, a little bit of a viscosity coming through. But of course it's all about the nosing and the tasting. So quite looking forward to this one. 23 years old, Glen Moray, independent bottler, Asta Morris, a Belgium independent bottler. So on the nose, cheers. Now, this is really nice. It is sweet, it's light. There's a friendliness to it. It reminds me a little bit of a Glencairn 25. Also a light whiskey. That alcohol is definitely there. you get that 49.7% ABV. And I think it will be a good idea. I just did a video on how much water would you add. Do you add water? Quite a lot of response to this. A lot of people like the idea of keeping it neat. A lot of people also said a couple of drops of water makes a big difference. Now, I'm not sure if I want to water down a whiskey that's 23 years old, but I think just for the sake of an argument, I will add some water. So there's a lightness to it, there's a sweetness to it, there's a little bit of a toffee note, but it's not a very sweet toffee note. But that alcohol, every time that I do agitate it, it really puts a punch. There's a little bit of a citrus note coming out, a little bit of a pear note, and a little bit of a, almost like a caramel note, and some vanillas coming out. It reminds me a little bit of a creme brulee type of note, but it's not sweet. Quite nice. My mouth is watering already. So on the taste, cheers. Oh, definitely a punchy, a sweet, punchy alcohol punch. And then I get wood. And now I get the wood on the nose as well. I didn't get a lot of wood on the nose before I had the sip. But once I had that sip, it's oak. Oak dust. Now my dad was a woodworker. He made furniture. His preferred wood that he worked with was oak. Sometimes when you're in the garage and he was planing the oak, that dust that comes off, it gets into your mouth, gets into everything. This is what I'm tasting. So loads and loads of wood, but not the wood tannins that's coming out. And now it's getting stronger and stronger, that woodiness on the nose as well. Let me just give it one more try. Cheers. It is definitely not a complex whiskey. I think I expected a little bit more on this whiskey. 23 years old. Well, I think 23 years in quite a dead cask, if I might be so bold. But it's nice. And if you hear snoring, it's my dog. She snores like a truck driver. But there's a sweetness to it. There's a loveliness. There's a friendliness. But definitely not a complex on the nose. And also not a complex whiskey on the taste. Let me try it one more time. There's a little bit of a citrus note, a little bit of that toffee note, a little bit of that creme brulee, a little bit of that vanilla on the taste. Other than that, that's it. Must admit I'm a little bit disappointed in this one. It's nice, it's drinkable. I think there's something that I would love to try more in the future. I think it's something that I would love to have a bottle, but I'm not so 100% sure I am willing to pay $200 for something that is, well, just plain. I'm a little bit surprised on this one. Maybe I'm going to add a little bit of water to see what the effect is going to be. Now I did bring some water. I did bring out my scientific spoon as well. But I don't have a lot. I am going to put in, this is maybe a quarter of a teaspoon. So let's see, maybe I can show you. 5 drops of water. So I'm not going to put in a lot, especially with this one. I don't want to ruin something. There is a little bit of a Scottish mist appearing. Maybe you can see it. And of course this is Belgium. And for a change, it is quite hot and not raining. Well, on the nose with a little bit of water. Cheers. There's a more vanillas coming out. There's a more sweetness coming out for me. That alcohol, I think that couple of drops was perfect. Definitely, again, not a complex one. It's just a lovely sweetness, a lightness, a friendliness to it. And more creme brulee on the nose. That woodiness is now completely gone for me on the nose. And on the taste, cheers. Definitely, I still get that little punchiness of the alcohol. I still get that woody notes. No bitter tannins. So that tells me that cask that it's been stuck in one cask for 23 years was, they must have been quite dead already. Because there's no tannins, there's no bitterness, there's no oakiness. There's the flavors of oak. And I must admit, I think it can handle a little bit more water. Maybe just a drop of 2. And I'm going to put in maybe now at about half a teaspoon of water. It's still got that little punchiness on the taste. I think that's perfect. But again, for me, a little bit disappointed. Maybe I was expecting a little bit more flavors to come out. Maybe a little bit more aromas on the nose. Maybe a little bit more aromas on the taste. But in the end, drinkable, nice. One more. A little bit oily now. It's also that punchiness of the alcohol is still there. A little bit more sweeter. A little bit of a dusty note that I previously tasted. Almost disappeared. Just a little bit of an oaky, like licking a piece of oak wood. Or how I would imagine a piece of oak wood will taste like. So that's me, 23 years old. Glen Moray, bottled by Asta Morris here in Belgium. Only 189 bottles were produced. 1996 vintage. Cask number AM138. If you are interested in buying one. Deep pockets, 200 odd euro, maybe just a little bit less than 200 euro. Are you willing to pay that for a 23-year-old? That's a little bit mediocre, I think. Well, let me know in the comment. And of course, thanks for watching. Please remember to like and subscribe. And I see you next time on this, well, not a bombshell note. Cheers.